What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I missed a few videos. I've been kind of on the road lately. I went to Jamaica for my 1-year wedding anniversary. Round of applause. We made it a year, hopefully a lot more. Then I went straight to content week for the East Coast squad, and then I went straight to Dallas for the Final Four. All blessings, but I'm happy to be home. Missed some videos while I was gone, so I want to backtrack and check especially this one out. I saw this come up on my feed, and I was like, I want to react to this when I get home. I'm going to wait to watch it, so I'm going to start the video. I just want to say before this one starts, we were waiting on this video probably a year ago when both of them were really hot in the community, going crazy. They had just separated and there was just a lot of beef. And I feel like another situation that's similar to that in a game that if it would have happened at the time would have broke the internet, Chris White and Nick Briz. If that would have happened at the peak of everything, would have exploded the internet, literally. And then this was probably the next best one was MK and Showtime. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's get to the video.
Call that. You're a bitch if you call that. Headshots, stupid.
I don't know which one of these is more toxic, MK or Showtime. I don't know. I can't call it. Well, that's his signature right there. All right. We don't want to see too much.
We getting tricked by this fake muscle. This guy's muscles are fake.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition
What
of today's episode. Today,
is happening?
we have two gentlemen that are going to have a conversation about animated topics. Fellas?
They're having a face-off? Yo, this is fire. I like this.
Relax.
This is fire. This is content right here. They rehearsed. Oh my gosh,
So joining us
locked
today
in.
are Showtime and MK, two of the most talented street ball players in the game today. Today, we'll be discussing their relationship, as well as what's going to be happening next, and go into a little bit more detail about their rivalry. So, Showtime, MK, thank you for joining us today. Let's start things off by talking about the friendship, the origins of the friendship. How'd you guys meet, and what led to you guys taking over the street ball scene?
Well, me and Showtime, for anybody that doesn't know, we've known each other since, what, like 8 years old?
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Super young. We used to play against each other. I played for a team out of Newmarket, which is like the suburbs.
Both from Canada.
Of Ontario, the Toronto area. He played in the city. And our teams played against each other when we were younger, competed in like championships, and like literally we'd always go head to head against each other. People don't know that, but we've known each other since we were like tiny.
Yeah, we did 100%.
And I think the takeovers, you were on that wave.
Yo,
Already.
I
was in Costa
remember.
Rica playing pro. You were already on that wave. I obviously knew you. We knew each other. I seen you going crazy, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna pull up and just like spoil his run, like that, the Aiken Park run.
Yep, that's exactly what he did. He came to our park takeover, fried the shit out of Grizz, like cooked him. It was so bad. I don't even know how to explain it. Like he got
MK
it
was skinnier
cooked,
back then.
and then that's how MK became a part of Trouble Team. If MK didn't fry Grizz that bad, then
I remember seeing that first run and being like, MK could succeed on social media. I just remember that. And then he hopped right on Showtime's team.
I probably wouldn't even have put him on the team.
Trouble
so
Team.
That's how it happened, really.
You messaged me after. You were like, yo, let's run it. Like, let's run it. Like, hop on the squad. Let's run it these next few times. And then
And
we
they ran it up.
once.
They were
We had
killing it.
chemistry, obviously. Had a few dunks.
Hey.
Had a few alley-oops, whatever. But it wasn't really till like the second or third when I pulled up to Lakeshore, and we're gonna clip these videos in, that we started going crazy. And then
Hey!
our fucking court.
Our court, baby!
And then the Scarborough run, like,
Yeah,
turned me into a new name, you know.
for sure, 100%.
So, I guess out of all the takeovers you guys have done together, which one was your favorite?
Most definitely, probably playing against Cam Water. I don't think nothing really beats that. I feel like just
That
that
game was
game in
nuts.
general put like the whole
That game was
Canada
rough for
basketball
Zone 6.
scene on the map. You feel me? And honestly, I feel like we don't really get enough credit for the hoop scene in Canada, but I feel like we definitely brought a lot of eyes on the hoop scene for sure. So I'm definitely gonna have to go with the Cam Water one.
Yeah, that game was crazy.
Obviously, the Scarborough one, that's when my life changed. Like, Showtime gave me the
Yo.
opportunity to play for his team, with Trouble Team.
I remember this
and we
clip.
just like took that over. Like me and him together took it over. I went crazy that run. He plugged my socials in, and literally overnight, just because of that takeover, we woke up in the next morning. You remember that? We woke up the next morning. We had like 100 more like subs, followers. Everything was going crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy. That's when Drake followed me. After that day, a bunch of other celebs reached out. So that was definitely my favorite.
Cool. So after we bounce back to that Cam Wilder one. So between that Cam Wilder run up until, let's say, the Ball is Life West Coast game against Trouble Team. So tell me a little bit about that period in time and where your relationship was at during that period.
I feel like a lot of things happen wrong just because of communication. I feel like, MK wasn't communicating with me properly how he should have.
I don't take. I'm just being honest. I don't take either of them to be like great communicators. I don't know these guys, but I'm just assuming. Like I could see they're both young. I don't know how old MK is, but I know Showtime's young. Like I could see it.
And honestly, I'm just really based off of like communicating. Really, like I feel like communication can stop a lot of unnecessary problems. So
Facts.
that's what I feel like. Honestly, just communication and ego on top of that.
Yeah, and those go hand in hand.
We both had like this ego. Like me and him were like, he started it, I came in, and like we were doing it together. Like we were on, like in my opinion, we were on the same level, and that's an ego talking. But I had some opportunities to go other places. I went. I was excited. It was more so like I was excited. This never happened. So I had those opportunities. I took them right away. I wouldn't say, yeah, I probably didn't communicate. I like to know what you thought that I didn't communicate, because we never really talked about it until now.
Oh, now here we go.
Honestly, I feel like he went to the States, lost to Kenny Chow. I don't know how the fuck that even happened. Because Kenny Chow is
We're
probably,
still talking though.
Kenny Chow is probably the worst basketball hooper on the net after Gio Wise. So I don't know how that happened, but he went to America when I feel like he should never went so fast, lost to Kenny Chow, then Kelly, okay, like, boom, shit, whatever. Then after he teamed up with Nick Briz, that part I didn't like because, and it didn't really make sense to me because at the time we were actually supposed to play Nick, like after Cam Wilder in Zone 6, so he played with Nick Briz and it just didn't really make sense to me, like why you would do such a thing if we're gonna play against Nick Briz, you feel me? So that didn't really make sense and stuff like that, and I just feel like communication, like you didn't tell me, like I had to go on social media to see that you're playing with Nick Briz when I feel like you should have communicated that with me, because I felt like I would have done the same thing, communicated with the whole team about if I was doing something like that too. So that's how I felt, really.
Looking back on it now, like what we're doing right now, like we're here together, like based on communication. So like the one thing about Nick Briz, I understand. I feel like if I told you like what was going on, like the whole situation, and I would just like set you guys up for that announcement, like yo, I'm gonna do this shit with Nick Briz. This is for like, this is what I want to do. That was the one thing I messed up on. Definitely should have told you. And I feel like it would have been it would have been weird because like you said, we had a game planned against him, but I still feel like it would be less, less controversy between us. The other stuff, like you said, like you were injured. Everyone from Trouble Team wanted to go to LA, and I was like if everyone's gonna hold me back, I'm just gonna go. Like this is my life, you know what I mean? That's how I felt. Like it was my career, my life. You already had shit booming. Let's be honest, like you were the one that was booming. So like I felt in my space, I wasn't booming as much. This was my shot to get to that level, start making a career. Because you gotta understand, like after that, I was making like a rack a month playing pro. But then I see some YouTube money, some sponsorship money, some brand deal money. I'm like, yo, like I can make a career out of this. I'm not gonna let anybody stop.
I would love, and I've been considering like talking about how much money people make overseas in comparison to YouTube, because I feel like it's such a good option for overseas players. Not only are you do have the ability to make more money doing social media, you're also growing your own brand, and that can compound into more opportunities. I was thinking about making a video of that, but yeah, just haven't gotten to it.
On me for that. So the Kenny Chow shit, I beat him 2 other times, so we can relax. No, I'm just joking. I don't like Kenny Chow right now. I don't like Kenny Chow.
He's a he said he wants to box me for a reason, I don't know why, but when you see me, I hope you have that same energy too.
The main thing though is
I can see this basketball space because it's like, I feel like it peaked, whatever, it is where it is. It's in a good space in my opinion. But I could see there being boxing matches because it's just content and people always want to push through that barrier of viewership. So I could see people getting into boxing in this space. I'm not gonna lie.
That, like I said, I wanted to take that opportunity, and I honestly apologize about the Nick Briz stuff because I understand it now. Like, I get it now. But as long as you can see it from my point of view, that like I was excited to like get, you know, like make some money. Like,
I
actually,
understand both
like,
sides.
like I just saw dollars in my bank account that year.
I get it.
That's why I took that Nick Briz thing, and I feel like it would have been different. I was like, yo, I'm gonna do this shit with Nick Briz, you know?
I mean, I don't blame you, to be honest. Like, I understand now because, you know, like, the amount of money, like, we're seeing and stuff like that, we haven't really seen it in our whole entire lives.
Like 0 to like hella right away.
You see hella zeros, you're like, yo, like, I want more, you feel me? So we just, like, you know, we weren't really patient with it, and we didn't really plan things properly, but at the end of the day, too, we're both young, like, you know? That was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, so.
As much money as we made, like, I know me personally, I made a bunch of money, but like, I was so young and inexperienced, I spent so much money, bro. Like, so much money. And then that's when I look at it now, and I'm like, yo, like, I fucked up. Like, I should have been patient with it. You know, so that's the only thing. Like, I wish, and I remember being on the phone with you in LA, and I was like, yo, this is sick. We're gonna do X, Y, Z. Yeah. The Nick Briz stuff was probably when we got the most cheese at each other. Yeah. But other than that, it was pretty calm.
Okay, understandable. Understandable from both sides. Now, let's talk a little bit about that Balls Life versus Trouble Team game.
There's so much shit that people don't know about that game. Like, behind the scenes.
There's a whole lot. They don't know a lot of shit.
I'll let you
Talk
start
about it.
off.
All right.
You were cheesed.
I was cheesed, to be honest. So, whatever. We're in LA.
This is when I basically, to give people background, I told him I wasn't gonna play.
Yeah,
'Cause I had
okay,
a big
okay, so this is what happened. So, this is before I even flew out to LA or anything. This guy just comes saying, oh, I might not be able to play in the Bottles Life game. I'm like, what do you mean you're not gonna play in the Bottles Life game? Like, look what we started together, this and the third. Like, you feel me? There's no way you're not playing. Like, what? I'm like, okay, whatever. He says he's not gonna play. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna ask him another week and see if he's like.
I remember you asked me so many times.
So I asked him again. He said the same thing. So I'm like, now I gotta go get a whole other player and stuff like that. So I have to get a whole new team, whatever. That happened. So we go to LA now. I get a text. From Drake, and he's like, "What's going on? Like, what's popping for the game tomorrow?" I'm just like, "Just do it, you know." Next thing you know, he's saying, "MK's trying to run with us." And honestly, I'm just like, okay, I don't give a fuck. He's not playing with me. I don't care. Like, you feel me? I didn't give a fuck at all. Like, you feel me? It could have been fucking my mom that said make MK play. I would have said, nah, mom, fuck that shit. You're not playing. You feel me? Because I just felt like, you know, I was betrayed a little bit in certain areas and shit. So I'm just like, honestly, like, nah, you're not playing. So Drake texted me, said da-da-da. And I'm just like, honestly, nah, I'm not.
I actually respect that. Like, just to turn down Drake coming to the game is crazy. But to believe in what you're, not even to believe, but just to have the pride to say, nah. I don't know. Pride is not good, but at the same time, I respect him for being the same on both sides and not letting Drake come into the game waver his decision. Because Drake is insane. Like,
I'm making him play. I really don't give two fucks. And then, yeah,
especially if
that's
that
it,
being
really.
from Canada.
We went out to go play, got spanked, which I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how we got spanked because to be honest, they weren't even really that good. I feel like we just came into that game a little like nervous because we didn't have home court and stuff like that. Also though, Wildest Life did say some things like, you know, certain things they're gonna let us play, this, that, and the third, call fouls and shit. And I think they kind of cheated us that game, you feel me? But it's whatever. We'll play them again one day if I feel like
really
it because
smacked him. I remember that.
I don't really like Wildest Life either. But
I was out. I was actually at Drake's concert. You were there too.
yeah, I was there
Drake's
too.
concert. I went to his after party. I was talking to him. This was the first time I met Drake, so I was super lit, super good guy. And he's like, yo, you're gonna link Showtime tomorrow? He's like, you're playing? I don't think he knew like we had like a little vendetta going on.
Yeah.
But he's like, yo, you're playing tomorrow, right? Like, come on, bro. We need to see you guys together. And I was like, bro, like, I don't know. I don't think Showtime wants me to play. And I already told him I wasn't gonna play. And then at that moment, he told me, which is like, I told you after the fact.
Yeah.
He was like, and I wish I messaged you this during that day. And then it would have probably like squashed things.
Yeah.
I had an ego and you had an ego.
Most definitely.
He was like, come to my crib. We'll pull up to the game together. And then I was like, yo, that would be sick. And then I was like, what if I like asked Showtime to play, and like, or what if you asked Showtime? Because I thought if he asked you, you would have been like, yeah, like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
but at the time I just like,
you're
it was just like I didn't give a fuck who you were. You feel me? Like I'm not with that.
I understand.
Okay, so
basically he was like, you know, like when we get there, when we pull up, MK, like Showtime throw MK a jersey, hop on the squad, just shock everybody. Because you have like Drake courtside watching. I pull up, even if we win or lose, which we probably would have won,
just
I think.
Dap it
I'm not gonna say I would have been the deciding factor, but we had like so much chemistry. Like I feel like it would have made a difference if I played for sure. But we had beef at that time. I you know how I took it? I took it like you didn't want me to play. Like I thought Drake was like, yo, like run it. Like he had the plan ready set for you, right? He was like, yo, like you guys are gonna play together. I thought that.
He never told me about no plan. He just said that's it, really. So you know.
That's what we had talked about. That's what I kind of like pitched, and that's my fault for not telling you. But the ball is life thing. At that point, I was like, hey, this guy doesn't want me to play for his team. Fuck this guy. We can settle it. You know, like we can just do that. We can do it like that. I'll make my own team, and then I ended up.
Yeah, once he didn't play in that game, it was over for good. Because you're playing, like, that's the biggest, you know what I'm saying? That's the biggest game you've had yet. There's no really going back from that. So I understand, like, after that, the split was finalized.
Making my own team. We can run the ones, whatever. I didn't really care because I was just cheesed that you didn't want me to come back to the team. You held that vendetta, which overall, it was just miscommunication.
There's still a little bit of fire in there. I don't know if they're going to let it out, but I could see it, especially on MK's side.
One thing I do fuck with, though, that, like, he did actually want us, like, you know, to get together and stuff and not, like, really fight, like, you know?
Piece this up right away. Yeah. And he was trying to piece this up in LA.
Yeah.
Which was the craziest part, but I understand why we both didn't.
So let me ask you this question. If MK would have played that game,
a lot of good in
you guys think you would have won?
Though. Yeah, most definitely. I don't want to just say it just because of MK though. I want to say because we would have had more chemistry as a team and we would all have been like more hungry, you feel me? Like, cause I bring the dog in me, but MK also brings the dog in me too, you feel me? We both like gel together very well. Like as you guys can see in our takeovers, like no one was stopping us, so I feel like, yeah, our energy would have picked up together and we would have went crazy. I feel like we definitely would have won for sure.
So many clips you can see of like, I'm approaching somebody, Showtime's behind me. Showtime's approaching somebody, I'm behind him. And like, I do a windmill, he's right beside me. I had my like most viral dunk, and like, guess who was running all the way down the field with me? It's like you behind me, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, he brings out that dog in me, and like, I think I do the same with him. So it's like, you can stop players, you can guard Showtime, you can guard MK, but you can't stop energy. So I feel like if we ever teamed up again, eventually maybe, I don't think you can stop that energy going forward. Like 2v2s, even in a takeover, if we're back on the same team, like you can't stop the overall energy. It's unstoppable.
So I guess after the HOH, I heard a rumor that your team was supposed to play against your team. What happened?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were supposed to play.
It didn't happen. Then we ended up playing office hours, and then he wanted to sub-post us because we lost. To be honest, I don't even know how we lost the office hours too. They're fucking horrible.
Caffeine was supposed to put on the event.
Yeah.
And that's why I was cheesed at you.
Yeah.
We were supposed to play each other, 5v5, settle it. Because we were like pissed, but like again, he congratulated me for the 50K, but we were kind of like, we had that little edge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's settle it. Let's make some money. Let's play against each other, see who's better. Caffeine reached out to us, I believe. They were gonna probably give a bag for that event.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big
And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm just being blunt, like I reached out to you hella times because I was trying to get that event set up. And I know like whoever set it up for you, maybe your management team, I don't know who it was, they set it up. And then I reached out to Caffeine, or no, my Caffeine reached out to my manager and they're like, so are you set up for this matchup? Like, are you guys excited for Toronto? And I was at the beach in North Carolina, I remember that message and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? We never set up a game. So we were supposed to have a game and we just never had a game. Yeah. So think of it from my position, why I did that sub post after. I was supposed to play with you. We were probably gonna make however many racks you made from that event.
Yeah.
Probably a lot. Osmo sponsor, Caffeine sponsor. Did Caffeine end up sponsoring or did they pull out?
Caffeine didn't sponsor.
Okay, so they were going to, whatever. That would have been hella money, right? But then I was like, yo, what do you mean? You guys are posting an event and I'm not there? So that's where I was like, what the fuck? So you guys ended up playing office hours. It completely switched. And then I was like, fuck this guy. Like, that's when I got really pissed. And that's when we were at our worst.
Yeah, it's so much pride and ego. And they already pretty much covered, at least they're aware of it. But when you don't communicate, you're going to be just boiling, you know, behind closed doors. If you're not talking and like you're thinking about the other one, it's just like, yeah, it's not a good situation. They should have squashed it at Drake. That's when they should have squashed it. It's how serious is it? It's literally just petty pride at that point. And they could have done it, they would have just avoided all this and felt so much better. Like, if I could give one piece of advice, like, just squash it as soon as possible, because nothing ever comes from, like, I don't want to call this beef, but like pride, ego, petty beef. Nothing ever comes from it. Squash it immediately. You'll feel a lot better mentally moving forward. You'll have more confidence in your life and everything. Like,
honestly though, I feel like we tend to care about money too much. Like, I feel like we were having the most fun when, like, we played Camp Water them, no camping, no nothing.
yeah,
Straight
just on YouTube.
We had
that was
fun,
fire.
it was viral, whatever. We made our money from the YouTube videos. We went trending number 2. That's insane.
That was fucked.
Trending number 2 in Canada and trending like top 5 in the
that's
whole of
crazy.
America, so, you know? But I feel like we should have just did the game at a park, packed it out, and just played and had fun, you know? Because I feel like once you get all those people involved, it kind of causes a lot of problems and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna play. That's just what I'm like. I thought we were gonna play, and we never got to play. Regardless of money, like, obviously the money was a big part of it. It's like we could have put on, like you said it, millions of views for HOH if we played 1-on-1.
Yeah.
5v5, you against me, is insane. Like, that's internet breaking, especially at that time,
Yeah.
because we were beefing a bit. And then I just didn't hear from anybody. I thought it was like a sold out show, but then I got a message from Caffeine saying, "Are you pulling up or no?" I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? What do you mean pull up? So I just had no idea, and then that's why, like, after that, you guys lost the office hours,
Yep.
and I was in LA, and I was like, yo, fuck these guys, bro. These guys wanted to, like, you know, finesse me out of a game. Well, I don't even remember what I said, but I was like something like, you guys lost, or something just like you guys lost. I was
Yeah.
just rubbing it in your face.
I remember I DM'd you. I DM'd him on some crazy shit, man. We had to pop up the screenshots.
No, we'll pop up the screenshots for sure.
Yeah, I was like, damn, bro. Like, if I see you, I'll knock you out type shit. Like,
You said, just because you're D's doesn't mean you can't catch this.
because you're D's, I won't, like,
You're a good kid from New Market, represent where you're not from.
like, you think because you're muscular, you won't, like, I was on some timing, like, you feel me? That's how you know I was really angry for sure at this guy, but.
I think you were angry, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were cheesed because you lost. You guys shouldn't have lost.
Yeah.
Let's be real. That's why I was
That made me more mad, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Office hours 1? And I was like, all right, bet. We're going to rub it in his face right now. I'm going to piss this guy off. So I did that, and you were pissed about that, and you were pissed that I, like, you know, was sub-posting you.
Yeah.
I didn't even at you. It was just like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was on demon timing. He wanted to fight. I don't even remember what I said at this point, but I was just kind of like, whatever, bro. Like, I said we can set up a game whenever. I was just kind of offing that. Like, at the end of the day, like, it was dead.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were ever going to collab again. I thought that was the last moment we'd ever talk to each other after that.
Yeah.
So now that we've kind of covered off everything up until this point right here, let's talk reconciliation. Do you
Who
guys ever
contacted
see
who
yourselves
first?
getting back together in any shape, way, or form on the basketball court?
I'm not gonna lie, this guy reached out to me
Okay.
at Christmas, and I don't know why. I was thinking, like, not even on some weird shit, but like I was like thinking of him. Like I was like, yo, like, you know, my girl sometimes would ask me, like, see videos, be like, you miss Showtime? I'm like, nah, it's a waste man. He's a waste man. And she's like, you sure? Like, it seems like you miss him. I'm like, I didn't say anything, but like deep down, like, not even on some weird feeling shit, like, I definitely miss you, bro. Like, I was like, you know, we had some good ass memories. I would hear like the fucking Drake album. I'm like, bro, that's like when we went viral.
CLB.
Like,
Drake, let me tell you guys something, man. Drake, CLB is my favorite album from Drake. Like, only
Because
reason,
of what
because
happened,
of
like-
everything we went through when that album dropped. Like, you don't understand. Like, when he dropped that album, he invited me to the listing party. That's where I first met him. You know, we actually got to talk about it, da-da-da. I had a takeover the next day at Meadowville in Saga. That was their first takeover ever played with us. And he was actually gonna come, he said, but he didn't wake up in time. He said if he woke up in time, he would've showed up, so. But just everything in general, like, I promise you, like, that whole month of September, I was listening to CLB every day, 7
there
a.m.
for
on
next
Bridal Path, like, bro.
He'll be there for
That album is so, like, legendary to me just because of everything I've I've been through when that album dropped and the love he was showing us, like, you know. So CLB will forever be my favorite Drake album, for sure.
100%. And that's where I was like, I miss this guy, like, whatever. And then right when I was thinking that, like, yeah, you can't fake this shit. You actually can't fake this shit. Because we were just talking about it, me and my girl, on the way to her family's crib. And then I look at my phone at dinner, because I was having a bad dinner. I was like, just like, whatever. I felt weird. I look at my phone, and I laugh, bro. I see a message from this guy. He's like, that's crazy. It was like us training, like when we first took off. Yeah. And I was like, yo, this guy actually messaged me. That's crazy. Like, that showed a sign that he's like mature. Like, he's a mature guy. And like, it would have been very immature of me if I didn't reply and, you know, wish him like a Merry Christmas. So I wished him a Merry Christmas. I was just chopping it up with him again, and we kind of just like, you know, got back to cool. And then a few weeks later, that's when we're like, all right, maybe we could do something. Maybe we could talk it out. And this is that talk right here.
Wow. Now that was quite the intense conversation between these two. It's clear they both have a lot of respect for each other. However, there's still a little bit of animosity there. Now, the million-dollar question is...
Man, shut your skinny ass, having ass, Richard Kelly, having ass, ugly ass up, nigga. You think I'm gonna fuck with this guy ever again? I'm from the trenches, bro. Don't ever disrespect me with that bullshit. Look at me in the face, I'm talking to you, pussy. You a goof. I'll never fuck with you ever again in my life. Man, shut your stupid ass up, man. I'm out this bitch. April Fools, pussy.
They are playing ones, right? Oh, they're not.
Crazy you guys thought you were gonna get a 1v1, me and Showtime together. It's crazy you thought we were ever gonna reunite.
Bro.
April Fools, dumbasses. Take that stupid fucking suit off, goofy. Holy.
All right, obviously it's not April Fool's. That was a real conversation. But sheesh, I thought we were gonna get a 1v1. The whole time I'm like, should I skip past this? Like, should I just get to the 1v1? Wow. What are my thoughts here? That just threw me off. I don't know. I think that this is a lesson for content creators. And it really is, like, almost everybody. Put that pride and ego down. It's not worth having bad relationships. It's just not worth it. There's business that won't happen, and so many possibilities that won't happen because of pride and ego, and just like there's nothing good that can come from it. So everybody just put their walls down. Let's all work together. Impression to see them talk it out. I think Nick and Chris need to have the talk next. I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.